We have received no input from local boards, and I've no known extraordinary items, if that's not enough extraordinary stuff. And I would now like to welcome on item 7, Mayor Toby Adams and Nicola MacDonald and Chris Olivia from Aotea Great Barrier and Lucy Baragwanath. Welcome to your first presentation as the forum's new executive officer. Some good work going on here. I'm looking forward to hearing on how we're tackling Kalupa. I took great care when I went out to the barrier to not put my anchor down and to use some mooring. And I recognise the good work of Izzy Fordham in arranging that for me. So I'm looking forward to hearing your presentation, please.
Awesome. Well, good morning and thank you for having us, Your Worship, or Mayor Wayne. I'm not sure how you like to be called. I just like to be called Toby when I'm in my chambers, but staff do, so I'll use Your Worship. Deputy Mayor, councillors and staff and all those in the public gallery. It's a bit of an eye-opener for me. We're lucky if we get one or two turn up to our meetings, and it has to be a controversial item for them to get out of their bed to come to see us. They do theirs via Facebook and personal emails. That's how they complain to us. I just want to thank all of you guys for what you do. Being the mayor is probably one of the most challenging yet rewarding roles you can ever have, and the councillors, the amount of time and effort and pressures that come onto you from your communities and the decisions you have to make. So I just want to acknowledge that. I know how tough that is. We're here today to update on the Golf Forum and to pledge my support on the traffic management cone system. Happy to stand beside you on that. Our little wee council has gone up to, I think it's nearly 100,000 a month we spend on traffic management. So for that $1.2 million we spend, equates to about a 3% rate increase. So when the government's sitting there saying go through your stuff line by line, if they took that line out for us, we'd save 3% just like that. So happy to support you on that. What we wanted to do today is just update you where we are in the Golf Forum and acknowledge the councillors that you have here that are part of that process, and just ask for your continued support for what we're trying to achieve. So we're not here asking for money like some people are. We just want your support. The golf is like our big playground. You play in it yourself. I'm there as well. My yacht's probably not as big as yours, but I'll soon tie up to it and share some of your whiskey if I can. But it's a massive playground that we have, and we need to get behind and support this cleanup of this Kalupa. If it was something that was visible, like the Botanic Gardens up here or one of your domains, and you saw it in a state that it is, by all means you'd be jumping on it to get it cleaned up. And because we can't see it because it's under the water, we don't have that same sort of ramifications when we're trying to get the public in behind us. So we're just asking for your support to central government to get behind us, Thames Coromandel, Hauraki District Council, the Golf Forum, and yourselves. So I'll hand over to Lucy. For those that haven't met Lucy, she is our new executive officer, so we welcome Lucy, and obviously the queen of the environment, the lovely Nicola MacDonald.
Kia ora everyone, thank you.
Kia ora everybody. I might actually leave the Queen to speak next, and I will pick up behind. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you, members, Your Worship, and members of the public. As Toby has said, we're not here to ask for money. We're here for your continued support. Auckland Council have been leaders in the Hauraki Golf Forum, and I want to acknowledge some of our members that are on the forum that are councillors here today. It's wonderful to have you here with us. We have been trying incredibly hard to look at how we can advance some of the needs from central government, because we know that the Hauraki Golf is the national treasure for all of New Zealand. We've got 1 million hectares of water space. We've got people out there enjoying. Mayor, you've got your boat. Mayor, you've got your boat, but I think I've got the fastest boats because I've got the police boats. So we must get on those boats and go for a bit of a ride. But that ride's not going to be any fun when we know underneath the water it's choked up and suffocated by this blinking sea gorse called Kalupa. So we're looking for the support from Auckland Council so that we can continue to advocate strongly to central government to invest those commitments here in the Gulf. We know there are other places that are under siege, but not like the Hauraki Gulf. We've got kalupa infestations everywhere. And what we want from Biosecurity New Zealand, from the Ministry of Primary Industries, we want our government to say, hey, we need to invest right here because we are all the stewards and caretakers of this beautiful ocean space that all of New Zealand enjoys. So those are sort of my comments. And as you'll know, earlier this week, and I want to thank Auckland Council for your biosecurity permit, we put down 7 million kutai mussels in the Hauraki Gulf. And that's a big cheers for all of us. It's the world's largest shellfish bed restoration right in our patch. So thank you, Auckland Council and members of the public. I know the bell's going to ring soon, so Lucy, you're on the fast track.
Thank you so much. Kia ora, everybody. It's such a privilege to be here doing this amazing work alongside these extraordinary people. So, and thank you too to the other forum members present. So our new work plan has been finalised, and right at the top, obviously, is supporting the efforts going into kalupa, including the mighty efforts that Auckland Council's putting in. And it takes us all. These great big wicked problems have many, many causes and are cumulative, and it's really important that we all work together to try and tackle them. And part of that, Auckland Council is a very powerful presence and a wonderful leader in this work alongside everyone else, but it takes us all, including central government. The second issue that's a priority for us is the RMS Niagara, sitting up there under the Gulf, quietly rotting, with a whole lot of heavy oil on board. If that blows, it's going to be a monumental disaster, 3 times as much oil as was in the Renner. I know that this is something that Mike Lee, Councillor Lee, has worked on for many years now. The problem hasn't gone away and it's rotting faster. So that's another issue where we would like your help. We need a survey done to establish how much oil is left on board. So yes, it's a big government problem, but it's all of our problem if the Niagara goes. The third thing is making sure that we keep on top of the issue of sediment and pollution that's entering the Gulf, and obviously the councils have a big role to play in this. I know the work that's going on and the amazing compliance that's happening at Auckland Council, but it's a huge issue, it really is, and so that's a high priority. And the last one I'll leave you with is the Hauraki Gulf Te Kapa Moana Marine Protection Bill. It's passed its first reading. It was unanimously supported by the Select Committee, and so we're very hopeful that there's cross-party support in central government for its passage through the House. So we would like you to all cross your fingers and hope like heck that it goes through, and in any way, any support that you can possibly provide, because that would increase in a very tiny way the protection of the Gulf, but a really important way. So that's what we wanted to leave you with today, and we're very happy to take any questions. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much for that. I just want to say it's not my fault that the Gulf's overfished. I'm hopeless at that.
Certainly not mine either, if you see me fishing.
And perhaps you should send the Germans a bill for the Niagara. They sunk the damn thing. I've got questions from Richard Hills, please.
Kia ora. I'm not going to speak to the item, so just a quick comment first. Just thank you, Nicola, for the invitation on Monday, and I'm sorry I was stuck here and couldn't make it, but that's fantastic to see that roll out. And also thanks to the leadership of the Hauraki Gulf Forum. You know, we have done a lot of things around this table because of your leadership and the leadership of the forums before around sediment, our Closing the Gaps program, our work with Dave Allen and Rachel Kelleher and Phil and others to get genuine things happening, including some action through the LTP, thank you, Mayor, on kalupa. I guess it's going to continue, and I want to ask a really kind of tough question. When you're looking at sort of 160 to 200 hectares out past Aotea of kalupa and limited money from the government, and unlikely that we could fund full removal, where and how do we have the conversation around where we should focus if we can't do it all?
That's a tricky one. That's where we would like the huge support. We know Auckland is a strong voice in central government, and if your voice is alongside our voice, we should be able to get the money out of central government. The sooner we get it, if we had had this 2 years ago, we'd have been well on top of it. We know we're not going to eliminate it completely, but we would have been on top of it, and there's so much slow progress going on for committing the funds and putting cans in place where they're required. If we had that support, then we can get on top of it and start eradicating it, and then keep monitoring as we go along. I mean, we wrote to the Minister and talked about the microbivis problem that we had. When that hit us, yes, it's a different scenario. It's on land, it's more visible, but they didn't think twice. They threw money at it, and we got on top of it and got on top of it rather quickly. The Gulf is a $100 billion asset. It's a huge asset for New Zealand and a huge asset for us. So we need to get that money from central government.
Thank you. And just one slight comment. Nicola, if you just want to give a brief update of the work mana whenua Ngāti Manuhiri, but also volunteers are doing out there on Kaurupa, so without a lot of financial support.
Thank you, Councillor Hills. Well, I think one of the really exciting things about our neighbourhood is the relationships that we have shared over many, many generations, and certainly the role in which mana whenua have played in terms of leading out with rāhui, for the tipa, for the scallops, work that they're doing at place with their own communities to get in the water and see what we can do. There's been some fantastic work with Ngāti Pāwa, with Ngāti Rehua, Ngāti Hei, Ngāti Tamatara. They've been outstanding. Ngāti Manuhiri have been in the water as well, because we know that together it's going to take a whole village to get on top of protecting our ocean space. And I couldn't agree more with Toby. Auckland Council, you have a very strong, influential voice. Together, we need to influence the minister down in the beehive, get his feet wet, not at the farm, in the ocean, and let's get some resources to protect this beautiful taonga that we all love.
Kia ora, thank you.
Okay, we're just looking to see who the Minister of Biosecurity is, just so I can get the right one when he comes in front of me, but Councillor Fletcher's got a question for you.
Morena, colleagues. It's fantastic to have you here. I sometimes feel that the magnificent work of the Hauraki Gulf Forum is not really fully appreciated by the people, not just of the Auckland region, but also of the Coromandel. Welcome, Lucy. You had a marvellous predecessor in Alex Rogers, and Alex Rogers has left to actually manage the Northern Regional Department of Conservation. And I'm excited by that, because if there is a real weakness, it's been in the Department of Conservation and their inability to get on top of the many problems that they have. There are obviously funding issues, but there are also other issues that need to be urgently addressed by the Department of Conservation. So you have big boots to fill there, Lucy, but we really welcome you. I wonder, Toby and Nicola, if you can outline what the work program might be in the short term and how we can report, for those of us on the Auckland Council, how we can get that interaction with the forum moving, and also the advocacy you would like the Mayor to take, because the Mayor is talking to government on a regular basis in and around the legislative changes that we've sought for the Hauraki Gulf Forum, and anything else you would like, and I've got quite a lot I'd like to tell the Minister of Conservation, but anything you feel that could be constructive in getting, I know how effective the Hauraki Gulf Forum can be, but what we can do to complement and add value.
100%. So Minister Hoggard is the one we really need to tackle, and I think we're meeting with him relatively shortly, so we'll fire that off, and if you've got free 10 minutes to walk across the street, give him a barrel with us, we'll take that. At the moment, it's really unknown. We can't get a clear answer out of central government and his office on what the value is, and it's coming, and what their work program looks like for that. We're mindful that it's Kalupa's got you know, it's in all these different little spots, and it's starting to grow rapidly in other areas. We're worried that they might concentrate too much on the far north with the amount of budget that they've got, whether they can tackle that and let these other areas just infest to a greater area. So we need that advocacy to get a better budget and a more balanced approach look at how we tackle this process. At the moment, it's been real piecemeal. You know, we've been trying to encourage the government with scientific facts from other industries that have been dealing with this, how the best way to tackle it, and it's quite piecemeal at the moment. So we're trying to get that into a more pragmatic approach.
Thank you for your advocacy on that. But I think while you're with us, because we very rarely have the forum come formally to the governing body, there are a whole lot of issues in and around the Department of Conservation and some of the areas of dysfunctionality on other aspects to conservation. Are there any other points that you'd like to make while you're here?
Thank you, Councillor Fletcher. One of the key points around the Department of Conservation will be the impending Hauraki Marine Protection Bill, in particular the role that they will play over managing our marine protected areas and marine reserves. We have a number of beautiful marine reserves scattered right throughout the Hauraki Gulf. It will be important that they come to the fore and really look at how they're monitoring and managing those marine reserves, ensuring that we're not facing incursions. But one thing I do want to say, Mayor and councillors, you have a fantastic clean hull program here, and it was that little program that spotted the Kalupa at Lee Harbour. Now I want to say this, we've got over 1,000 hectares in total of Kalupa. The first ever site in New Zealand that removed and totally eliminated Kalupa was at Lee Harbour. And we wouldn't have known that without the great work that the Clean Hull team are doing. So that is, I want to encourage council to continue investing in that program because they are the ones that are spotting inshore, and that's something that the forum can also look at. How do we keep those connections with the council programs and also with the strategy that we have? Because we've got these great programs out there, they're there to do clean hulls, but in fact, they found Kalupa and we got on top of it. Within 48 hours, we had eliminated at that site. It's the first site in New Zealand ever eliminated. And we've had it for 3.5 years. So I think that shows the tenacity of the way in which local government are weighing in to support these central issues. And that's what we need to bring to the attention of Minister Hoggard. We really need to encourage him. Don't forget the Gulf.
Thank you for that. I have written to Andrew Hoggard, who's I've met, but we'll follow up on that. Thank you very much for that. Councillor Leone has a question.
Kia ora, koutou ngā mihi nui kia korua, me koe Lucy, congratulations on your role, and ngā mihi nui Nicola and Toby on your leadership with the Hauraki Golf Forum, and you're doing some amazing mahi. Just coming back to the points that's already been raised around Minister Hoggard, obviously, and I think Minister of Conservation. So would you primarily like us to organise to have that meeting with both of the ministers to have that discussion? Because I think and both of them like together with councillors and the mayor.
Most certainly, would welcome that. Would appreciate that.
I think we'll try to have a crack at that.
Yeah.
And thanks for the stuff about the clean hull thing. It is a responsibility that boat owners, like myself, do take seriously, and I hope others do. And it also plays into we have a narrative about whether or not we've got enough areas to pull boats out and make them clean at the moment, which is another thing going on as well. Nothing's easy, everything's complicated, and Councillor Sayers is the last question.
Thank you very much for the presentation, but just for the interest of the table, the Niagara, when that sunk during the war, it was, hit a mine, and my father was it was full of gold, right? It was full of gold, and so they went down and they wanted to get the gold back, the salvagers. My father actually went down in the bell, they went and got that gold, and there's still some of it there. The claw couldn't get down and get it all because the ship had tipped and it slid down into the corner. So there's an incentive, but my father was, and the skippers of those
Sorry, mate, I've got
salvage,
to go.
yeah, those salvage crews knew that their oil was there, and they knew that it was just a matter of time. It's surprising that disaster hasn't occurred yet, so there is urgency around that. We need to find out the state of that and there's a technology now to get it out. In those days there wasn't. So I totally support that, but I just mentioned that as a story of curiosity for everybody. Okay.
I just found our cost savings.
Yeah, we definitely know the technology's there, and we've been advocating that there is technology there. Once again, it's just getting that central government to loosen the purse strings and supply some budget for that. But you'll probably see in the Herald about January the 3rd, 2025, 2 mayors diving on the Niagara, looking for gold.
Okay, well, the chief executive said he will follow that up, and the oil now is worth as much as the gold was when it sank all those years ago, so the economics might be in favour of this. I still think we should send the Germans a bill. All right, thanks
Happy
very
to
much for
move.
that. I'll move that we... Hey? Okay, Councillor Fletcher and Councillor Walker beat me to it, and we're going to move that we receive the update from Mayor Toby Adams and Nicola MacDonald and co-chairs and Lucy Barraguanath from the Hauraki Golf Forum, and thank you for their attending and continue with your work.
Happy to come and present any time. So happy to come again. If you could just discount the parking for me, that'd be appreciative. And the Deputy Mayor for organising the choir for me being here today. I've sent that back to my team and said this is the kind of welcome I had at Auckland Council. So we've got to lift our game in Hauraki.
Well, you're welcome to come over to my boat, but you won't get whiskey, but you might get champagne. Okay.
Do you want to put that, please?
All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, carried. Thank you very much for that indeed. Okay, next item is the demographic advisory panels. And it's welcome